How do you install and size a basement dehumidifier? Today we're taking out this $150, $200 dehumidifier that only does 20 pints per day, which only dehumidifies about 200 or 300 square foot. This is what we're installing. This is what restoration companies actually use after there's a flood. This will dehumidify 3,000 square foot. This is the Alorair Centennial HDI 100. Does 220 pints per day. This is what typical homeowners buy, but this will run constantly and it's setting on a crate. Why? Because it's got a gravity drain. So we're going to take this out. This is what we're going to install. Why? Because it has a built-in pump, which I'm going to install this tube, and you can actually get to that pump if you need to service it. It's got some very nice filtration here, and airflow is just as important as moisture removal. So this one 20 pints per day, this one 220, right? We got 10 times the capacity, 10 times the moisture removal. Airflow is important. We have a bigger fan, we have some nice filters. The company actually gave me a discount code, so I'm going to put the link in the description, but we're going to get this installed. So let's go ahead and unplug the old dehumidifier. Looks like the tube gravity feeds into the condensate pump. And let's get this thing off this crate. Let's get that out of there, get the crate out of here. No more crates, we don't need the crate. This is where the drain goes. Looks like we just take this, loosen it up, place the drain tube in here. Let's take this all the way off and see what it is. Oh, look at that. Put that there. Screw this back in. That is simple. Simple. All right, I'm going to route this tube, I guess, through here, and I'll grab that in a minute. All you got to do is go online where you're buying a dehumidifier, and it's actually going to give you the square footage and the capacity. So then you can look at your basement or your crawl space or your garage, and if it's 2,000 square foot, you need that model. If it's 3,000 square foot, you need that specific model. And then you pick it out. There's online calculators. Some manufacturers have, which is nice. You need a big dehumidifier if you've got a big space. And typically, I use a rule of thumb of 5 to 10 pints per 100 square foot. So if you live in a mild climate, I would use 5 pints per 100 square foot. If you live in a very humid climate, you got a very damp crawl space, you may need to use the 10 pints. Or just go on the manufacturer's website where you're going to buy that dehumidifier and look at their capacity and their square footage for each model. All right, now I'll probably cut this tube. That way we don't have so much tube. We don't need all this tube. But I will put the link in the description for this dehumidifier. You got to make sure you get the right dehumidifier. Now, for this one, we got a small fan. For this one, look at this. Look at the surface area. I mean, that's probably like 10 inches right there. That is nice. Now here's our interface. We're about to test this thing out. Before I do that, I'm going to set up my psychrometers. I've got some hvac Bluetooth psychrometers. I'm going to put one on the return side, one on the supply side. There are little holes right here on the return and supply. This is set up for 10-inch pipe, 10-inch flex, and you can actually get some adapters. So if you wanted to tie this into the duct, you can do that. Keep in mind, if you tie into the supply, you may want to get a backdraft damper. That way, when the unit kicks on, it's not blowing back into the dehumidifier. So that's one thing to note. This thing is about 75 pounds, so it is a little heavy. It's got some handles, so easy to carry it, but you may need another person, especially if you're not strong like me. I'm just kidding. All right, so easy to use, right? We got the power button here. We can turn it on by pushing that power button. And then once we turn it on, we can use this to set the set point. Once it reaches the set point, it will turn off. It'll turn on and off automatically. You can use the drain button if you want to pump the rest of the water out of the reservoir. And if you want to do maintenance on the actual pump itself, like clean out the reservoir maybe once a year, you can actually take this thing apart. So that's nice. So pretty nice dehumidifier for the price, 1,100 bucks. Discount code in the link in the description. It's on right now, so we're gonna wait a minute. I like the filters, pretty nice. 23 inches or 24 inches, again, 24 inches long, about 15 inches wide, and about 18 inches tall. So easily fit into a crawl space. All right, it's been on for just a second. And you can see right here, we've got 58% humidity going in. And it is, what's the temperature? 66 degrees. All right, and then on the supply side, which I should probably wait a minute, it's 47%, 46% humidity. So it is starting to work. Look at that, 45. Let's check the temperature. It should be hotter. Yep, 73. All right, I'm gonna let this run for about 5 minutes, and then we will come back and we'll check it out and see what the difference is in temperature and humidity from the return to supply side. It's got a 5-year warranty on the parts. Definitely need to make sure you register that warranty. And I like it for the price. There's dehumidifiers that do 3,000 square foot that are double the price out there. So I do like the price. Look at these doors. These doors, I guess, go on. And I think they've got magnets. Oh, look at that. Let's recheck. It's been about 5 minutes. Let's see what it's pulling in. So pulling in, it's 66.9, about 67, okay, 67 degrees. So it's warmed up a little bit. And then we've got 73 going out. So looks like we've got, it looks like about 6 degrees. And then humidity wise, we're pulling in 57% humidity. And then we're pushing out about 43% humidity. So this is only about 5 minutes. I mean, that's pretty good. You know, that's over a 10 degree percentage. So let's go over here. Let's check the other one because I turned it back on. And you can't even really hear it. It don't even feel like it's... All right, here's the return side. Well, let's put this one over here. This is the supply side. This is the return side. All right, so looks like relative humidity, same thing, 56. And then air temperature, 66. And then what are we putting out? 71. And then 45. Okay, so we're not removing as much humidity with this one, and then the temperature is not as warm. So based off of the testing, it looks like that dehumidifier is doing a better job. Here's their website. This is the actual dehumidifier that I got. And you can see it is about 1,100 bucks plus tax, of course. And then I'm going to put a link down in the description with a discount code. So go check it out. They've got a lot of different dehumidifiers to choose from. So I hope this video helps. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned something. If you did, let me know in the comments what it was. You got a question? Remember, questions can lead to new content. So if you got a question, put your questions down below. If you don't have a question, that's okay. Let me know who you are and let me know where you're from. You've been watching Taddy Digest. This was HVAC tips for technicians / homeowners. I'm Tad, and I'll keep you cool if you let me.